Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. This is Deluxe Touch and I am here to tell you about my experience buying my first home. So my journey began back in 2010. If you guys are familiar with the housing market, back in about 2008 2010 is when the market crashed, and you could have gotten homes for a little to nothing, and the government was giving people, I think it was $8,000 or $16,000 back then. And I was like, oh man, the houses are going for little to nothing and they're giving away money. I gotta buy a house. Back then I think I was 20, 25 or 26. Well, it all sounded great. However, it was one exception to the rule. My credit was shot. And to be honest, I was not an irresponsible person. However, I decided to move out of my parents' house when I was 21. I wanted to be independent. I said, oh, I'm making a little bit of money. Let me move out. I just want to do things on my own. So I moved out, and in a matter of 3 months, I got fired from my job, and I had no savings, no nothing. So it was a struggle because I had a year lease, and I was like, oh Lord, I don't want to get evicted. I don't know what I'm going to do. So I was living on unemployment. Long story short, my credit suffered tremendously from that. I think my lowest score was like in the 400s, and that is really low. So yeah, if you ain't ready to move out, stay with your parents as long as you can and build your credit up. If I knew what I knew today, I would have stayed in my parents' house as long as I could have. But anyway, my credit was bad, so I couldn't buy the house during the recession. At least I thought I couldn't. I didn't know about all these different things they have, going on, because I didn't reach out to anybody. I just had that in my mind that you're not going to be able to do it. You're too young. You don't make enough money. You ain't going to be able to do it. Try again. So 2014 comes around. I'm a little bit older, and I'm like, okay, I'm ready to buy a house now. Let's start getting serious about your finances and start getting serious about buying a house, because you can do it. So I had a few people that was working with me that purchased homes, and I would ask, I would say congratulations or whatever, and be like, congratulations, that's really big or whatever. Can you help me? Because I've always wanted to buy a house, and I just don't know which way to go. Nobody wanted to help me at all. And I find that pretty strange, because I've always been the type of person, if I can help somebody, I'm going to help them. That's just the way I am. If I have any information on anything, if I know somebody that can help somebody do something that they want to do, I'm going to help them. And nobody wanted to help me. So I got on the computer and I started doing my research. I started looking for first-time home buyer programs that can help me, because one, my credit was still kind of shaky, and I didn't have a whole lot of money in the bank, to be honest. And I know buying a house is very expensive. So a friend of mine told me to look up a realtor on Facebook. I never met her before. But he was like, you know, he heard good things about her. So I looked her up, inboxed her, and I was like, hey, I'm wanting to buy a house. I don't know where to start. Can you help me? So she set up an appointment. I went to my appointment, and we talked. I mean, I got an okay vibe from her. And we were sitting down in the meeting, and she was like, so tell me, when do you want to be in the house, and how much money you want to spend on your house, and how big of a house do you want? And going in head first, I was like, oh, I want this big old extravagant house, knowing it was just me. Crazy. I want this huge house, 3-4 bedrooms with a 2-car garage, and just over the top. And she was like, okay, that sounds good. And then I was like, well, you know what? I don't think I need all of that. Maybe I should get a townhouse. And she was like, oh no, get what you want to get. If you want a big house, you go for it. So I was like, okay. So the lender pulled my credit, and I believe when he pulled my credit, it was like at a 580, 590. Well, the guidelines for this program that I researched, your credit score had to be a 640. So he gave me the instructions to work on my credit, what I need to do to build my credit up to 640. Well, I was thinking, hey, I'm going to be able to get my house in less than 6 months. No, it did not work like that. I think I signed a contract with her in 2014, and I did not end up getting my approval for my house until the beginning of 2016. That's how long it actually took me to boost my credit up. So she was against me going through any programs. She was like, oh, you know, you don't want to go through any programs. It's stipulations on the programs or whatever. But I'm like, I don't care what the stipulations are. If they giving away free money, I'm going to take it and I'm going to use it, because I can keep that money in my pocket for other things. So I finally got my approval. We linked up with this other girl. No, she put me down with a different lender, and for some reason the lender couldn't get my file approved. And so I end up going to this townhouse community that was new and up and coming, and I was like, I was talking to the young lady that was selling in townhomes, and she was like, oh, why don't you talk to one of my lenders? I think she'll be able to get you approved. So I was like, okay, and I got really good vibes from her. As a matter of fact, we are still friends to this day. So I talked to the lender, and she was able to get my file approved. I had my approval letter and everything. Like, it seemed like everything was coming together after I went to this townhome community. But I just got good vibes from it. And, you know, she said I'm approved for $190,000. So if I was to take that full $190,000, my mortgage payment would be like $1,100. So I wasn't interested in paying that. So this townhome community was brand spanking new. They just started building, and the base price for the townhomes were $125,000. Townhome had everything I wanted, from the granite to the bathroom, the spacious master bathroom. I could add a backyard. It was just like a house, but it was just a townhouse, and it only was missing one thing off the list, which was a garage. And I was like, hey, I can live without a garage. I really like this community. And I remember I was at the desk with her and I told her I want this big, huge, extravagant house, and I really didn't need it. So started the process, and I just felt like, I got a bad deal with my realtor because she really was not there. She was there for me to sign my contract, and she was there at the closing office with her jeans and flip-flops on to collect her check, and that was it. Because I found my own townhome. I did all the leg work by myself. She was just there representing me, but she really didn't represent me. So I fell in love with the townhouse. I got to pick out all my selections that I wanted. I customized it the way that I wanted, and I didn't go overboard. I made sure I got a fence so I can have a nice backyard, and I will insert pictures so you guys can see. I end up closing on my house, and I got the $8,000, and I think I only had to pay out of pocket, I want to say about $700 I had to pay out of pocket, because the builder paid my most of my closing costs. So basically, all I had to do was come out of pocket like $700, and the rest was history. It's being a first-time home buyer. Well, you definitely can do it if you want to. Just put your mind to it. It's very, I just feel like once I bought my house, I felt like I can do anything. I could do anything. When I signed all of those thousands of papers, I felt like I could do anything in the world. Nobody can't tell me I can't do anything. If I want to upgrade my house in 2 years, I'm going to do it. If I want a new car, I'm going to go and do it. If I want to go back to school, I'm going to do it. That's how I was feeling. If that's something you guys want to do, you definitely should do it. Research your realtor and make sure your realtor is, top notch and will represent you properly. Make sure you get exactly what you want in a home, because I do kind of wish I got the garage, but hey, I can live without it for now. And don't overextend yourself, because you do have other bills that goes along with paying your mortgage. So just because the bank says you're approved for $200,000 does not mean you should go and get a house that's $200,000, because I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be living from check to check. And I am honestly glad I didn't borrow my max and get this big extravagant house, because look, I'm at my grandparents' house and I'm renting out my townhouse, which is good rental property, and now I'm making money off of my property. When I'm ready to go back, I have plenty money in the bank. I can either sell it and take the profit from that and get the house exactly that I want, or I can stay and do all the upgrades that I want in my house. But you definitely can do it if that is something that you want to do. It doesn't matter how old you are. If you're 20 years old and want to buy a house, if you're 40, 50 or 60 and you want to buy a house, you definitely can do it if that's what you want to do. So thank you guys for watching. If you have any more questions, just comment down below. Let me know your experience if you bought a home. If you want any information on any first-time home buyers programs that I know of, just ask me down below in the comments, and I'll be sure to comment back. I always comment back. I will see you guys on the next video. Have a good day.